A long time ago in a Honesdale far, far away. Dragon's Den, Games and Hobbies. Episode 1. The Rise of Games and Hobbies. It is a period of gaming war. Rebel players, striking from a hidden base in the heart of Honesdale at 552 Main Street, have won their first victory against the dull empire of the mundane. During the battle, Rebel spies managed to steal secret plans to the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Dragon's Den, an armored gaming store with enough power to provide endless entertainment. Pursued by the Empire's sinister agents, gamers race home aboard their starships, custodians of the stolen plans that can save their people and restore freedom to the galaxy. Join the rebellion and embark on epic quests, from the strategic depths of Magic the Gathering to the fantastical realms of Dungeons and Dragons, and the galactic battles of Star Wars tabletop games. The Den holds the key to victory. Our extensive selection of board games promises endless fun for friends and family. The Den is open for your daily dose of fun Monday from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., Tuesday through Thursday from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m., Friday from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m., and Sunday from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're a seasoned gamer or new to the dice, our welcoming community and knowledgeable staff are here to guide you through the stars. For inquiries, transmit messages to 570-647-4633 or via the Holonet at dragonsdengamingandhobbies@gmail.com. Stay updated with the latest Rebel dispatches and events by following us on the Holonet at facebook.com/dragonsdenpa. Dragon's Den, Games and Hobbies, where every game is an adventure waiting to unfold. Visit us today and let the games begin.
Today's episode is sponsored by Dragon's Den, Games and Hobbies. You can visit them at 552 Main Street in Honesdale, PA, or call them at 570-647-4633. Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to another episode of NDT Gaming. Ladies and gentlemen, YouTube did not like the fact that we used copyright-free music, so Jared switched it up, and we used copyright-free music. So I hope that you enjoyed the new intro music as much as I did. Jared, I kind of bopped to that. Just
I was. I kind of like it. So
it's pretty dope.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
It was pretty great.
So welcome in, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this wonderful Friday evening. We've got a lot going on. It's been a busy week for me. It is game night for us. before we get started, I just want to remind you guys, tomorrow, Sidewalk Sales, Honesdale, PA, we are going to be down at Dragon's Den Games and Hobbies at 552 Main Street in Honesdale. We'll be broadcasting live from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Make sure you stop in the store, see what kind of amazing deals this guy below me has in store for you. In store, get it in store for you, and come hang out with us. We're gonna have some stickers, we're gonna have some shirts and whatnot. So pop in, say hello, and get some cool shit from Mike. Mike, why don't you tell these wonderful people what kind of deals you have going on?
Right now, we're doing 25% off all the board games in the store, and I am actually running out of board games, which is pretty awesome. We were doing 10 off the D&D books. The paints are buy two, get one free, and there's like a bunch of stuff going on today and tomorrow.
That's awesome. Just in time for Sidewalk Sales, guys. And you're going to have to get there pretty early because the shit's just flying off his shelf, so make sure you get in there. This episode, well, let's get to this episode now, because this episode is going to be focused on the series of Resident Evil. Big horror fan. I started out with Resident Evil 2. I did not play Resident Evil 1. I did get it, though, guys. I am going to play that soon, post-haste, probably tomorrow. At least by Sunday, I'm going to play Resident Evil 1. But I will let you guys take it away from here. I don't know which one of you guys, or Jared, I don't know if you played the first one. I know Mike did. I don't have to ask that question.
I did not play the first one. I kind of started with 2, so
yeah. So you're like me.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just give the floor to Mike. Mike, why don't you tell us about where the series started, what the idea for this was right from the get-go with Capcom?
Well, it started back in the, I would say, mid-90s on the PS1, or actually Genesis, if you want to be really way back. It was on the Sega CD, I want to say. It was the first game really that caught survival horror, that got it started, really. This is before Fatal Frame. This is before Silent Hill. This is before where, like, we have survival horror as a genre. This was what paved the way. This is kind of what also put PlayStation on the map. This was like when Resident Evil 1 dropped. It was Resident Evil 1, then there was a director's cut, which added so much more features and everything, and nobody expected it to do half as well as it did. Actually, like I was even telling you earlier, the original cutscene, where it was a live action cutscene, the girl playing Jill, she was like still in high school at the time. She dipped for like years she dipped, and then finally, like last year, she came to one of the like Resident Evil cons and was like, "Hi everybody, it's Jill, the original." The guy who does Chris is actually in Residence of Evil's, all of his videos and all that stuff too. So it's kind of cool to see him, come around.
That's pretty cool.
And it's one of the biggest growing franchises. They said after the next 1.9, it's not that they're going to stop making Resident Evil games, what everybody thought it was. What they're going to do is just stop numbering them. So we're going to have a lot more for that. Yeah. So we're going to have a lot more for that. There was a big Capcom leak. And the big Capcom leak was that Hunk might be getting his own game from 2. It's going to just keep going. They're making way too much money on it. I can't see why they would stop.
Yeah. They've created this entire world from it. And there's little branches off of every single game, it seems. Like, what's the one that branched off of 2 that really focused on Claire Redfield? What was that one called?
Zero Revelations?
Revelations. Oh, Code Veronica.
Code Veronica.
Yeah, I had Code Veronica on Sega Dreamcast. That's where I played it on.
It was one of the first titles, along with Resident Evil 4, that was, I believe, on the Dreamcast. And they came with with Resident Evil 4, it came with a chainsaw controller. Now, if you are lucky enough to find one of those chainsaw controllers, I believe that was on the GameCube, the chainsaw controller.
Yes, the
GameCube. That thing is worth like a fortune if you have one.
That's wild. Hi, Alex. Yeah, so one of these days we'll have a conversation about all the different consoles, because you said Sega CD and it reminded me of Sega Saturn, if that's the same one you're talking about. Then the Dreamcast, man, I've got mixed emotions about the Dreamcast. But yeah, we'll stick to the Resident Evil stuff tonight.
There's enough to talk about.
Yeah. So we could discuss how the view, like the player's view, went from the first game to the fourth game and moving forward there. But the first couple of games, they did the camera that stayed in place, and every time you walk through a hall or into another room, it's just changing your camera angles on you. What was their idea with Yes, the fixed camera angles. Tell us, like, do you have any idea about what their concept was with this in the original and what their thought was on this? Is it supposed to add?
I think
to
it
the
was,
horror?
yeah, I think it was to add to that and like the jump scares and all that stuff with the fixed camera angles.
That's exactly what it was for like jump scare purposes. Because back then, remember, it was PS1. There wasn't like VR goggles to throw on. It was you had to work with what you had. Now the rumor, it was a little kind of a conspiracy theory that in the first one, when it was the fixed camera angles and seeing it was actually Wesker on the cameras watching you throughout the mansion, because his whole like purpose was to collect combat data for Umbrella. So the whole reason was those fixed camera angles were supposed to be the camera shots of like Jill fighting the giant snake, the Yawn, or the Neptunes, the giant sharks, or this, the Cerberus, the dogs, or anything like that. It was all from like his perspective viewing on cameras.
That's actually a pretty cool concept. I didn't think of it that way. I did notice in other games that it was like that, but I don't know why I didn't think of that, man. Like watching security cameras. That's what it was.
It's just a conspiracy theory that Resident Evil fans have.
It's a good one though. And it makes sense.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of the jump scares and whatnot though, but man, when you get first person view, like even in Resident Evil 4 where you have the old over the shoulder view, I think the jump scares can be just as good because you don't know what the hell's behind you. I mean, yeah, when you switch room to room, you kind of in the original and in 2 and in 3, you don't know what's going to be around the corner. But like, I don't know. I think the first person view was a little scarier to me.
Well, dogs through the windows walking through that mansion hallway scared the crap out of every kid as the liquor through the double-sided window.
Yeah, the liquors.
Station and 2 was scaring the crap out of us.
I mean, even the remake. I'm going through the remake on number 2, and that the big guy went in the hall with the helicopter.
Mr. X,
yeah. I mean that still gets me like just chasing you around the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mr. X was a cool add-in for the original. When they redid 2, you were supposed to play the game on like arranged mode, I want to say, after you beat 2, like on the PS1 to get Mr. X. And like that was like the big, hey, did you get to him yet? Did you get to him yet? To talk in the hallway. And in the remake, he just comes out. Doesn't matter if you're on easy mode, hard mode, whatever you're on, he just comes out and he follows you to safe rooms. And like that was supposed to be like this, haha, can't come get me. And he walks right in. You're like, oh, you can.
No, the remake, I was downstairs in the interrogation room, and then I walked out, and there he is, and I'm like trying to get around him, and finally I got fed up. I was just like, I'm turning this shit off because I just kept going down. But I like the game because it's a lot of it, it's with the you got to conserve your ammo, so you're trying to figure out, okay, am I going to use my handgun, am I going to use my shotgun? Like the whole conservation of items is really, really good. And I think Resident Evil kind of made horror games what they are. So
it 100% did. That's what made survival horror. It was Resident Evil that laid the groundwork.
Now, when I was a kid, man, I didn't overthink games like this. Like I was big on strategy games. I was like, you guys know, I was big on Final Fantasy and different RPGs and stuff like that, where you have to actually think about what you're going to do. I never really treated Resident Evil in the same manner. I always just kind of thought of it as like, I'm going to go kill zombies. I'm going to make it through each level and go about it that way. And then I'd run out of ammo. Yeah, I never really thought of the conserving ammo. I wanted to fight every single enemy that was put in front of me. And if you really want to beat this game the proper way, you don't do that.
The remake has like different modes. So you got normal and easy and all that. So like I was playing normal mode and I was like, man, it's giving me like 6 bullets. And I'm like, I put it on easy. I got like, I don't know, 3-4 stacks of bullets now. I'm like, okay, this is much easier to play when you have bullets.
Amateur, he says.
I haven't played in so long that I'm just like, I shoot at everything. I mean,
it's just more fun, man. It's just more fun to do that. Mike, what makes the original Resident Evil, what makes that game so iconic?
Well, really, it's the opening scene it was the first time we really kind of had live action as like that beginning, the corny acting, the horrible soundtrack, because none of the music sounded anywhere good. The joke was the guy was deaf when he composed the music because it was just awful. But it was the fact that for its day, this game scared the hell out of people, and it was the game that got passed around like the locker rooms at in high school and middle school, and being like, "You got to play this. Is scary as hell." And nobody told anybody about the dogs jumping out or the liquor for the first time, or like the hunter or something like that. Like it was that game that set the bar for this game's going to freak them out.
Yeah. So the other thing about these games now, again, I haven't played the original yet, but I've played 2, I've played 3, I've played 4, 5, 6 a little bit. I didn't beat that one, and I started 7. Still got to play through it. But these games are famous for puzzles.
Yeah.
So as far as horror games go, this is also something that I think was new for its time too, wasn't it? Because they were kind of intricate puzzles, especially for when you're a kid, man.
It was, and it wasn't, but it was always like that. There was games before it that had puzzles, but not to this like in depth where it's like, you have this mansion key, but it's not the right key for this door, but you got to go find where it goes. And then you run into one of your teammates that's dying on the floor. You got to go get him serum, but are you going to make it in time, or is he just going to die? That was a whole, oh wait, to unlock this puzzle, you needed to do this puzzle. And it really did kind of come into, well, how did you get this? Oh, I died in the hallway. What did I have to do? Oh, you had to push the statue over the gas vent before you died. And it was crazy.
Now, did some of these puzzles kind of give you insight to the story itself?
It definitely, when the first time you play it, the puzzles kind of give a, this is not a typical mansion that we're stuck in. This is not a typical, like, whatever we're at. This is definitely something, we're not just stuck in a house full of zombies. There's a reason why we're here.
Yeah.
Some of the puzzles, some of the puzzles, no. Some of the puzzles, unfortunately, feel like busy work, and that's kind of like where they lost some people on a few of them.
Like the PlayStation and the remake of 2, you got like Clover key, you got a spade key, and then to get down to the basement, you got to collect 3 seals, like a lion, a unicorn, an eagle, or something like that, and you got to take it down to the middle and put it in there, and then it releases the chamber, like stairs that go down into the basement. I'm like, what kind of police station has a secret chamber?
Yeah, who the hell designed this shit?
There's a statue upstairs. You got to attach a book to the arm and attach the arm to the statue, and you're like, this police station, like in real life, you're just like, this wouldn't be in a police station.
Well, the police station, was actually a former museum. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, my thought was, I mean, every time I played any of these games, my thought always was Umbrella was such a gigantic corporation that they had influence anywhere and everywhere. So maybe that had something to do with all these different places having all these different puzzles, and it's all like it all goes back to the main game in the mansion.
Yeah.
And that's 100% it. It really does go back to like the main, going back to like where people love these puzzles, because it was fun to like, what were you, like 12, 13 at the time, trying to figure it out on your own before you didn't have the internet. It was like 97, 96. So you had to go get a strategy guide. And of course your mom spent the extra $20 getting the strategy guide.
Oh my God, the strategy guides, man. I used to love strategy guides. I felt so cool when I had one. For any
Resident
game.
Evil 3 strategy guide was called Wacky Funland because it actually showed you all like the puzzle things, and then it showed you all the Capcom like Easter eggs in all the other games.
Oh, that's cool.
Nemesis was actually based off Sagat from Street Fighter.
Really? No shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm playing the second one. And I'm sitting there reading on the internet. I'm like, the code to this locker is this and this. Because I'm like, there's some that, it makes it difficult. But like, I'm just like, I've been around this damn police station 100 times. Like, where is this code? Like, I cannot find the locker code. So I'm sitting here like, okay, somebody's got to have information on it. Like,
well, you're also sitting there thinking, man, I don't have all the time in the world to play video games anymore, man. I got a full-time job. I've got a kid. I've got a wife. I've got shit I got to do. Please just tell me the fucking code for this already.
My son's like, "Ooh, you cheating?"
No, I'm getting guidance. I'm not cheating. Charlie said it's Metroidvania kind of puzzles.
Yeah, fair.
I don't get that reference, and I feel bad saying that. I know Metroid.
It was a lot of fetch, get this key to unlock this door, go through this. Actually, a really cool fun fact about Resident Evil 2, the TV commercial was actually done by George Romero.
Ooh, neat. Didn't know that.
So the guy who invented Resident Evil, the guy who made zombie, what it is. The godfather of zombies is the one who made the commercial. And there's actually this thing where he was going to direct the Resident Evil movie, but they flushed the script. And originally people found the script and they actually want to get it kickstarted to kind of be like, here, go make this. Obviously Netflix can't make a movie, so you might as well try.
Yeah. Now we can get into the movies in a little bit too, because I really wouldn't mind talking about those and then what they tried to do afterwards with the series.
Mila Jovovich.
Mila. Yes.
The guilty pleasure movies.
Absolutely. So number 2 is that's where I started with the series. I had that on PC. I didn't play many PC games, but I had that on PC. And for some reason, I think it was easy mode. I would always play on easy mode as a kid, I guess, because I was a kid. Go into the police station, you go into the safe room on the left, and then you get a bazooka with infinite ammo, or you get a Gatling gun with infinite ammo. My God, the amount of fun I had with that game. That was so much fun to play with that. Loved it.
Well, Resident Evil 4, when you beat it, they give you the Chicago typewriter, and Leon kind of looks the Al Capone out. You can look on.
You get the outfit. Yeah.
You do.
I don't remember playing much of 4, so I don't remember. I know it wasn't too big on like the puzzles. I know there's still in there, but like there wasn't too big on the puzzles. It was more focused more on like zombies and getting away from them than it was puzzles. But
Jared, that's absolutely correct. That's exactly what it was. It was people got a little like, okay, let's get off the puzzles. There was a few. There was like 1 or 2. It wasn't anything crazy. But yeah, you did get to play as Tofu. That was pretty amazing too. But in 4, they actually wanted to just give you a couple guns, go save the president's daughter, go nuts. And it was, the first time we really got grenades. It was the first time it was that over the shoulder. It was on, I believe, the GameCube when it started. I mean, it was the reason people ran out and bought the GameCube. And if you got that gnarly, remote control with the chainsaw controller, like I said, that you're sitting on a small fortune if you have one.
I think it was the first time that you actually, if you killed them, like the heads popped open and they came back to life. Like I know they're zombies, but I mean they came back.
It was something completely different.
Yeah,
it was so like a different virus.
Yeah,
it was the Las Plagas. That's what we did before.
So 4, as my wife said in chat before, she said she loved watching 4, which is crazy to me because she is not a horror girl at all. She hates horror stuff. And I know when I say that, it sounds like horror. And I don't mean that my wife's a whore. She does not like horror stuff.
So when we get into 4, I want to show you the comparison between, these are the intros. So the intro of the original version and then the intro when you start the game on the remake. So if you got a little bit of time, I wanted to show you the comparisons on the 2.
Yeah, go right into it.
All right.
Special training via a secret organization working under the direct control of the president. I was to assume the responsibility of protecting the new president's family.
Cornel, why am I the one who always gets the short end of the stick?
You, who are you really? Come on and tell us. You are a long way from home, cowboy. You have my sympathies.
Guess that's a local's way of breaking the ice. Anyway, you know what this is all about. My assignment is to search for the president's missing daughter.
What? All by yourself?
I'm sure you boys didn't just tag along so we could sing Kumbaya together at some Boy Scout bonfire.
Like, can you imagine this being... This was on the GameCube. Like, the graphics that they had when 4 came out was... I mean, it was game changer.
I mean, it looks ancient now, but back in the day, this was like groundbreaking. This was insane.
Yeah.
Then again, maybe you did.
Oh, you crazy American. It's a direct order from the chief himself. I tell you, it's no picnic.
I'm counting on you guys.
I'm counting on you guys. Oh, man, I remember the beginning of this game. That
Spoiled
village in the beginning.
Yeah.
The village in the beginning was so crazy. First time I ever played this game, I had so much trouble with it. because I didn't understand what I was supposed to do.
Run the
It
clock.
was right before I was
Yep.
to take on my duties of protecting the president's daughter when she was abducted. That's the
It was like
ultimate
kill
reason
20
I'm in this
zombies or some
lonely,
shit like
rural
that.
part of Europe. According to our intelligence, there's reliable information about a sighting of a girl that looks very similar to the president's daughter. Apparently, she's being withheld by some unidentified group of people. Who would have thought that my first job would have been a rescue mission?
It's freezing.
I really enjoyed 4 because they
Hold on,
kind of
sorry.
changed the stories a little bit. Like they went away from the traditional zombie and went with something different. And I thought that was really cool.
Well, yeah, it wasn't the T virus
Sorry,
and the T virus and the
sorry.
Veronica virus. It was Las Plagas.
Their world is just fucking full of shit.
Yeah.
It's just full of shit.
So that was the obviously the 1998 version, or what was it, 2000? Oh, let's see, I had it written down. 4 came
2004,
out.
2005.
Yeah, 4 came out in 2005. So the remake, this was last year.
All right, so here we are. We have finally made it to Res. Also got my third. That's my goal.
With,
Hour long.
start
That
with-
night,
there we go.
Raccoon City was wiped out, thanks to the bioweapons created by Umbrella. Somehow I made it out, but too many others weren't so lucky. I was asked later to join a top-secret government program. Not that I had a choice. The training, punishing missions, nearly killed me. But at least I kept my mind off everything. If I could just forget what happened that night, the pain, even for a second. This time, it can be different.
Ada.
It has to.
Ada's iconic.
Yeah.
That red dress.
Don't worry, Corey. It is okay.
So tell me, Yankee, why did you come to this?
Oh,
horrible
Yankee
place?
instead of cowboy on
It's
this one.
close to nowhere that I've ever seen.
Let's just say, looking for someone.
That someone must be very important, huh? The chief gave the orders himself. Help him, he said.
I'm sure you boys didn't come all the way out here to roast marshmallows. Maybe you did.
You have
I,
a strange sense of humor. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Just between us. A lot of people have gone missing around here. And it's been that way for a while now.
See, now I don't even remember if I played the remaster or not. I don't think I played the remaster of 4 yet. Because I don't remember that.
I am not, but it's probably something that I'll probably end up doing.
Yeah, on the list now.
I only played it like 4 or 5 times.
Only?
Only.
It's I don't know. So when that came out, I mean, I used to get scared of playing games like horror games. I used to give the controller like to my brother and stuff like that. I'm like, I can't do this part. Like that one was it was a lot better to play because it wasn't as scary, like as far as like jump scares and stuff. It was more like you had a storyline to it, and still being linear, you still had a lot of times where it got difficult, and like just I don't know, the whole story of it. I think 4 changed a lot of games after that point, with the style that it was in, when it, like switching over from like the style 3 was, and then switching over to like you were saying, the over the shoulder type on 4.
Yeah, see, I really like that.
That's exactly what happened. Was they switched from survival horror to kind of action shooter,
Yeah.
and 5, of course, with like Chris and Africa and Jill and all that. Then it got 6, and it got a little like out of hand, where kind of Resident Evil forgot what Resident Evil was. And then they made 7, and it literally scared the hell out of everyone. So yeah, it was kind of neat to see, like, you know, the Baker Mansion was insane. It was crazy to see that for the first time. That's
Yeah.
hell. I mean, I'm an avid Resident Evil like fanatic, and playing the Baker Mansion for the first time literally scared the hell out of me.
So I kind of had that. I had that same feeling after 4. 4, I loved 4. 4 is my favorite one out of the bunch. I love 4. But then I played 5, and then got into 6, and I kind of had that same feeling. I was like, this isn't really a horror game anymore. This isn't scary. It's just another action game. Like, it's just another shooter. It's not all that exciting. Now 7, when I started Biohazard, I played it for about an hour, and the way it started out, I was not sure what to think about it. I didn't know what to think. I was like, oh, I don't have any weapons yet. I'm not like running into any monsters, no zombies. Like, what is this game? Is this game just like me trying to escape? So I like put it down and went to something else, and you know, ADHD mind, I guess I just fucking ventured off and did something else and never went back to it. Like, I still have it in my library, still gonna have to play it, but you know, it was so different going from 5 and 6 to 7 then. So
Yeah. So I pulled up The Village because I was like, I don't think I've ever actually seen what The Village was about. So I pulled up a little video on that. It was
I watched
this
someone
is their,
playing this on Twitch once.
yeah, this is their gameplay trailer, and I was like, okay, I can see playing this.
Think positively, all right? We talked about this.
I know. We hardly talk about anything else.
The castle bell heralds danger. The bell tolls for us all. They're coming again.
Mother Miranda, I regret to inform you that Ethan Winters has escaped that fool Heisenberg. Because he is in my castle and has already proven too much for my daughters to handle. When I find him... No, Mother Miranda. Yes, of course, I understand the importance of the...
Now, she's gigantic, right? She's supposed to be really huge.
7's like 8 foot, 9 foot, yeah.
Can someone please tell me what the hell is going on here?
No.
YouTube is 100% going to get us for all of this. I know that. See, people, this is why you need to come be in the live shows so YouTube doesn't fuck with us. You get the content here, live. Does that zombie have a sword?
Yes, he did.
Neat. Interesting.
Wow.
Duck down.
Well, Ethan Winters. There you are.
This is the village.
Who the fuck are you? Let's see what you're really made of. Ethan Winters.
I actually really liked Heisenberg.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't got hitting up from YouTube over playing trailers. So
Good.
yeah.
Good. Well, that one I'm going to have to get into. I like how they did that with the title Resident Evil Village, and it's like Resident Evil 8. I thought that was pretty neat. But yeah, that one looks really good, really creepy, really back to its roots. I just question all of it though. Like the more it progresses, is there any reference back to the T virus from the originals? Like, what's all the new shit that's going on?
That's kind of spoiling kind of Village if I say something. We'll just say yes.
Well, it's from 2021.
Okay.
People had time to.
I will play it. If it ruins it, it ruins it for me. But I'll still enjoy playing it. Like I've played Final Fantasy VII a million times over. I know what happens. It doesn't ruin it for me. You're all right.
You actually find out this is where Spencer kind of got the inspiration working with the Mother Miranda here to make the T virus. It kind of goes back. So it actually goes back to like 1.
So I was gonna say. So this is before everything that takes place.
Yeah, so it's 3 years after Biohazard. Is when it sets place. So
all right, now I need a time. Now
I don't know because I never played Biohazard, so I'll have to put together a timeline on how.
If it's after Biohazard, then Biohazard has to be like before everything. Yeah,
it's Biohazard is like is that 7? Is that what you guys are calling or Biohazard? Yep. All right, 7 is like taking place during this whole different timeline, kind of not timeline thing, but like later on. Chris is already out of BSSA and everything crazy. He's actually working for Umbrella Blue, which is like I could go down the rabbit hole about that. But it's this whole like the order is correct. It's when the Revelations games come out, it gets kind of wonky because like Revelations 1 is before 5, but it's before during 6, like all this other kind of craziness ensues.
Yeah, because that sounds
0,
crazy
1,
to me.
2, 3, and 2 are taking place at the same time. Code Veronica happens.
But you said Village is where they kind of come up with the idea for the T virus. So doesn't that put Village before everything else?
Spoiler alert. You go into this like cavern and you find out that Miranda was working with Oswald Spencer, the guy who actually created the virus. And her notebook was like letters from him saying like, thank you for the inspiration to like make the T virus.
Okay. So it's not technically before, but you find out about all of it. Okay.
I mean, no, like it didn't take place before 1, but you can like Spencer is kind of the guy who owned the mansion and he's one of the original founders of Umbrella. So yeah.
Cool. So yeah, dude, I got to get back into these. I got to play through Resident Evil 7. I got to pick up Village. I got to pick that one up because that one looks really cool. That looks really neat. But everything looks like it's so different, like from the original T virus, because you get all these different monsters through the new one. You got Resident Evil 4 with the Las Plagas. I think it's all crazy.
I think
that's what makes it so crazy. That's what makes it so crazy good.
Yeah,
that's why I enjoy it so much.
Lady Dimitrescu.
What the internet did to her was very confusing and odd.
She was infected with the Cadu parasite,
metamyces, and all that fun stuff.
That's the big woman.
Yeah,
it's the big woman that Jeff says he'd hit. He says I'd hit that.
That's what the internet said.
That's what the internet said. That's what a lot of the internet says. They said I'd hit that big bitch. Absolutely. Give me some. There's enough to go around. Oh, I love it. So we skipped a couple of them, and it's not like we've gotten in depth with many of these anyway. Let's discuss 3 a little bit, I guess, because that's where you get Nemesis. The game itself was fairly short. They did do a remaster of 3 as well.
Here's the story with 3. 3 was not even supposed to be a full game. 3 was just supposed to be this little side thing showing Jill getting out of like Raccoon City. And it was supposed to just be, I think it was called like My Last Escape or whatever it was. That was the original title for it. They were like, okay, it's going to be a quick game that comes with 2. You'll beat it in like 2 hours. It's done. Whatever. Have fun with it. Well, then they started adding on. And then they put Nemesis and added on. And they're like, okay, now we have a full bore game. And it absolutely was like one of the most fan favorite games of all time with, watching Nemesis chase you around, like the original like Mr. X concept of that. and it scared the hell out of you because you'd have like 3 handgun bullets left, and all you hear is stars behind you, and you're just getting chased down.
So, can I take a stab in the dark as to why it might have been a fan favorite?
Go ahead.
Jill?
I think it might have something to do with Jill and her short skirt and blue tank top. Maybe I'm just throwing it out there. It might be a part. It might be a part of it.
Oh yeah, that
iconic
99 graphics,
Yeah, but that wasn't even supposed to be the
back
game.
in the day.
So they weren't even going to use that as their third game. They were actually going to do a cruise liner with Hunk as their third game, but yeah, they went with Jill. I think everybody probably preferred that one. So.
Yes, absolutely. And you mentioned the graphics, but man, back in the Final Fantasy VII days when that first came out, even with those graphics, even at those movie cutscenes, everyone still fell in love with Tifa, didn't they?
Well, Tifa, yeah. Just say Tifa.
It's just Tifa.
But this was the game. I think 3 Nemesis was the game that came out with mercenaries, wasn't it? Where you can play mercenary mode.
Yes. Yep. So if that game was created today, that would 110% be a DLC for another game.
Have you seen the remake to 3?
Well, a lot of people didn't like the remake of 3 because they said it was way too short.
Yeah.
But
yeah, wasn't it like 3.5 hours worth of content? And that was it.
Well, that's what they complained about. They're like, you could beat the game in 3 hours. I'm like, I can beat Resident Evil 1 in like 3 hours. Like, it's not.
Yeah, dude. If I'm paying $60 for a game and I only get to play it for 3 hours, I'm gonna be pissed off. Like we talked before about getting your money's worth out of a video game. When you pay $60 and the game's done in 3.5 hours, you're like, all right, what now?
And that's what got a lot of people very like frustrated and angry with it, was the fact it was over so short.
Yeah.
And Nemesis was supposed to be this like, oh my god, we have a redone Nemesis. It's going to be incredible. And it was like,
kind of the same, but also 3. I don't know about the remake. So 3. So the character choices, you got different game endings with 3 because of the different character choices that you had. So that, and then I think 3 was the first time they put in dodging, so you were able to do real-time dodging.
Don't worry, it didn't work.
No.
It was dodging. It was the wacky fun land of us going back to the police station after 2 and be like, oh, here we go. I know what to do. What do you mean we're only here for 10 minutes? Like, that's it.
Yeah. All right, so 3, from what we're gathering, 3 was kind of lackluster. It did give you a look at what was going on, and it sounds like they really just wanted to do it to let you know that Jill got out of the city to set something else up for her in the future in the franchise. Now, where else did she appear? It was 3 wasn't her last appearance, was it? She was in something else, wasn't she?
She was in Revelations 2 or 1. Excuse me. She was in 1 on the cruise ship, and she was on. What the heck was it? 5. Spoiler alert. She was like, Wesker took control of her, and she was kind of like a villain turned good. And then she was on DLC content. You got to play for her for a little bit.
Okay. See, that's another thing about this series is I've only ever played the main games. I never went and played the Revelations or anything like that. Never got into those ones. And I don't know if it's just because in my mind, I was like, well, this might not really be a part of the thing, the main branch, the main story. I'm not really going to enjoy it as much. But are the offshoot games like Revelations, are they worth playing? Are they good content? Are they fun?
Absolutely. I thought so.
Yeah, she was investigating bioterrorism on a cruise ship on that one. So she was in Umbrella Chronicles. Revelations, and then I think, what was this one? Resistance. Let me see. Yeah, she was in Resistance, and then Death Island. There's a Resident Evil Death Island.
I never heard of that one.
The animated movies were absolutely incredible because those were like Degeneration and all the Death Islands and all those.
Yeah, that was the animated film. Yeah.
and they're absolutely a blast. Like they're cheesy, they're corny, they're like it's over the top, but it's Resident Evil, so everybody loved it.
I'll tell you, I mean, they came out with some great animated films. Like I watched some of those Resident Evil animated films, and the graphics are amazing.
Where can you catch a lot of it? You like there? I think I saw a few of them on Netflix, didn't I?
They're on Netflix. They're in the Walmart bin for like $10. Like they're not, you know. What Resident Evil Death Island did was they gave everybody the dream team shot of having like Claire, Leon, Chris, Jill, Rebecca all in one shot scene. So it was kind of like the dream team was here. It's what the fans finally wanted, was all their favorites in one shot in one movie.
Yeah, it looks like you Netflix, Hulu, Tubi.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jared, which one was your favorite out of the ones that you've played?
So I would probably say that I've been doing Resident Evil 2 remake because I like to going through the PlayStation and all that. So the remake has been really fun. Haven't beat it yet. So I think Resident Evil 2 would probably be one of my favorites. 4 would probably follow really closely. So
sounds like you're a Leon fan.
I am. I do. Like when he got introduced as a character, yeah. I mean, it was a good game. I just there's that nostalgia feeling though when I'm playing the second remake. So
what is it that you like the most about 2? What makes that one your favorite one? Just the police station in general?
No, I think it was the resources that you collected. I think the puzzles, but you know, going around collecting red herbs, blue herbs, you know, doing the mixing, you know, going to, you know, having the chest there. Like it's just, I think it was like I said, it was the nostalgia. Like I remember just like the 2D, like going around, and then like when you went through doors and stuff like that, the
little cutscenes
that they had through every single door was something that got me. So I mean, I like the older
nostalgia is just a powerful that's a powerful thing, man.
It sure is.
All right, Mike, now it's your turn. What's your favorite out of the entire series? Is this a hard question for you?
It is, because it's like one remaster for the GameCube was absolutely incredible, and I replayed that game to the point I like if I'm doing something, that's like the game I just play in the background to kind of just, you know, I know where everything is. I can almost speed run beat it. And then 2 Remake came out, and it was an absolute like, this is how you remake a video game. This was how you do it correctly. Everything was perfect. Everything was incredible. Everything was right. There was nothing bad about this game.
And they really didn't change much about it. Like they just recreated 2, and you know, you didn't get these added or take away from it. Like it was just perfect.
And then when you beat it and you finally get to the end and you get to play as like Hunk and you get to do the Hunk run and you get to do the greatest thing ever, the Tofu run. And Tofu was amazing. Something that was made literally just to check like physics in the game. They left him in. Even to this day, Tofu does not speak a word of English. He always speaks Japanese, and he's got a knife, I think. If he gets sick, he sweats. If he gets injured, he sweats purple, I want to say is what the thing is. So, like, he's got Jill's beret on, and he's got a knife, and he's just a sweating block of tofu running through, like, Resident Evil. And when he dies, he screams Banzai at the end. It's absolutely incredible.
All right, so my favorite is 4. Jeff says that the item collecting and storage system and weapons on 4 is what made me love it. I loved the style switch. Now, I enjoy the puzzles of Resident Evil. I enjoy that little added element to it, but I did not miss the amount of crazy puzzles in 4. It was different. The first person view, or well, kind of like third person, over the shoulder kind of view. That's what did it for me with the laser sight and the mechanics of it. It was still scary because, like I said earlier, you didn't really know what was behind you. But I liked that they gave you something different. It wasn't just zombies. It wasn't just monsters. It was a different type of infection from a parasite. So it was new. It was cool. And again, it was Leon. It was a character that you knew, and it was a little bit of nostalgia feel for me playing through 4. And again, it was weird because my wife liked watching the game with me, and she liked watching me play it. It was weird to me because she's not a horror fan.
And 7 was groundbreaking in its own right. This was the first time that was like you weren't playing as Chris, you weren't playing as Leon, you were just Ethan Winters, the guy looking for his wife that told you to stay away, and you end up in Louisiana of all places. I mean, that's scary enough. And like you find out at the end, it's like the guy that's coming down is like, "Hi, Chris Redfield," and you're just like, "Oh, okay, I see. Very clever, very nice." But that game starts you off with like just a handgun and like 6 bullets. Good luck, sport. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, like I remember starting the game. Like I said, I played it an hour and a half maybe, and when I started out, I'm like, "What the fuck is this? What am I doing here?" I think I got to the part in 7 where they were having dinner, and I got away from the dinner table, and that was it.
That's all I see. Like when I search Biohazard, is that dinner scene.
Yeah, that was the last portion I played. Again, I'll have to get back to it. I will.
Well, that was like Texas Chainsaw Massacre inspired. That's that whole scene.
Yeah.
And they openly admitted that that was where they took it from.
Yep, that is the vibe I got from it, 110%.
I mean, I could wrap up Code Veronica real quick. I mean, it was good because it was one of those games that was like, oh my God, Wesker's back like that. And, you know, he's hunting down Claire. But it was like, Code Veronica's got the either love it or you hate it vibe to it. I mean, it's one of those games where it was like, okay, it's Chris fighting Wesker again. You know, we're in Antarctica doing a new virus thing, but it's still the Veronica virus, which is just like the G virus. It's just, you know, again, another one where here's 10 bullets. And it was on a different console. It didn't come to the PS2 till later on. So a lot of people were kind of saying back then, it was like, I don't know if I want to run out and buy a new console just to play one game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? That's Capcom. You know, Capcom was a big Sega company, weren't they?
It's kind of where it got its start, really.
That's what I thought. Capcom was Sonic the Hedgehog, right?
Street Fighter.
Yeah, so that was their platform. So it kind of made sense that they went to Dreamcast with it. I understand that move, but I mean, just Sega just kind of like fell apart after that. Again, well, we can get into consoles at another point in time, but that console was something else, man. Let me tell you.
And you can't talk Resident Evil without at least mentioning Dino Crisis, which was just instead of zombies, it was dinosaurs. And I want it remastered so bad.
That'd be fun. I enjoyed Dino Crisis.
I never played Dino Crisis.
Really? Let me see if I can find it.
I played Primal Rage.
That was good.
Primal Rage was really good.
I loved Primal Rage. As far as fighting games go, that was a lot of fun. But we're talking about Resident Evil. I mentioned earlier in the show that, you know, we could get to the movies, and now that we're like near the end of the show, we could touch on the movies a little bit. Again, we're not going to go into depth on it, but I did want to mention them because, you know, Resident Evil, we got to talk about it a little bit. They took inspiration from the video games. They created a new main character that was going to be there throughout the entire series. Do you think that they did the franchise any justice at all with the movie series they did?
First one I thought was good. I think I liked them up until they started producing more and more, and it just kind of got like they were just kind of just pushing them out. Like I can't remember exactly it was the final chapter. I think the last one was called that had Mila Jovovich in it.
Aren't they making a new one?
I heard that they were going to remake the series, but try to stay closer to the actual stories of the games. I don't know if there's truth to that or if it was just a rumor.
The one it was okay. It was that Welcome to Raccoon City. It was a popcorn movie. It was mediocre at best, but it was still fun.
So I liked the Resident Evil movies. You know, if you're not trying to compare them to the games, I enjoyed the movies. I enjoy the actress. I thought she did a great job. But I hate that they do that to movies that are based off of games. Like, I hate that they try to take the title and then twist it into something that you're not expecting.
I mean, obviously, we saw that with Final Fantasy when they did Spirits Within.
Spirits
You're like,
Within.
that had nothing to do with Final Fantasy.
I remember watching Spirits Within because I was so excited. Yes, a Final Fantasy movie. And I watched Spirits Within. I'm like, what the actual fuck is this?
Yeah.
What is this?
Well, this was that early computer generator where the eyes are always looking forward.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm talking to you over there, and just,
looking
they have
right
the doll's
into the
eyes, those dead eyes.
Yeah. So, I mean, while I did enjoy the movies themselves, I was really disappointed that they didn't do anything even relating to the games at all, because this series has such a cool story. If they take the original game and tell that story and make it into an hour and 45-minute movie about the mansion and where all of this started, I feel like they can do a really good job, especially if they try to do like a traditional horror style movie out of it, where it's like really dark and you're seeing this person go through the mansion, and like even insert some of the puzzles, like it would almost be like
almost like how they did Doom, like how parts of the Doom movie where they
went
showed
to first
person view. So
yeah, but like if they did something like this, and they could do it almost where it's like Saw plus a traditional horror film, like, so while they're trying to figure out these puzzles, I don't know, I think they could do so much with it.
Well, turn your frown upside down. If George Romero gets his way, he'll be getting a movie by him, and that's exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to do the first video game.
That would be incredible.
I want to see 4 get made into a movie.
Yes, there's there's so many good fucking stories in Resident Evil. Like, why not tell them through a movie?
I follow Residents of Evil really heavily on here, and they did a fan-made trailer, or their own fan-made short, and it was the Keeper's Diary, and that was insane for a low-budget, whatever, was incredible.
Yeah, I love when people do that. I love when I love watching like even little anime shorts that people produce by themselves. I think it's fantastic. I love it. All right, so anything else that we want to bring up before we end the show tonight? Because I know there's a whole lot of content that we can get to with Resident Evil, but we could also do another episode.
We could do another episode because they just revealed there's going to be another game, and Leon and Jill are going to be the two main protagonists.
I knew they had to bring Leon back at some point, and Jill too.
Yeah, we'll have to touch on it.
Leon prints $100 bills for this company. That's what he does.
Yep. I'm pretty sure my wife liked watching Resident Evil 4 because she had a little bit of a crush on computer generated Leon there.
What you have to do, there's a drinking game that goes with 2.
Oh, yeah?
The original 2 is every time Leon says 8 wait, you have to take a shot.
Really? Okay. Don't get too drunk.
You'll get shit-faced.
All right, so guys, don't forget tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., NDT podcast is going to be down on Main Street in Honesdale at Dragon's Den Games and Hobbies. We will be broadcasting live 11 to 3. Mike, why don't you let them know one more time what kind of deals you have going on down at the shop to drag these folks on in?
I mean, they're going fast. We just sold 2 of them. The board games are all 25% off. The paints are buy 2, get 1. We got a bunch of like singles from Pokemon Magic, whatever, on sale. Retro video games, we did buy 2, get 1 today. We'll do that again tomorrow. There's a bunch of specials going on.
It's going to be a fun day, guys. Make sure you get into Honesdale Sidewalk Sales. It's always wonderful. You can always find all kinds of great deals, and you get to come in and hang out with us. We are going to have NDT podcast shirts. We're going to have some stickers on site. And hey, if you want to chat, you can sit down and chat live on the air tomorrow with us. Do we have anything else we want to announce? Also, I guess August 3rd, that's our next date for the NDT Day at the Ballpark. Aaron will be singing. Our contest winner is going to be throwing out the first pitch. First 2,000 people through the gate get a cowboy hat. Absolutely fantastic. Super cool. Don't want to miss it. Got to be a great time. Anything else?
Yeah, there's one question. So Jeff wants to know, like, who would you want to see play Leon in a movie?
That's a good question. Like, for some reason, I feel like the lesser known actors and actresses do a fantastic job in these roles because they're using it as kind of like a catapult to launch their careers.
You need almost like that one generic guy that this is his breakout role, that he was Leon and it killed it.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you watch Prison Break or back in the day.
I watched the original Prison Break.
I could see Michael Scofield. Maybe. If he had blonde hair.
Maybe. That was such a good show.
That was a good show.
That was great.
That was a great show.
That's all I got.
Okay. Mike, you got anything else for us before we head out?
Actually, what I absolutely love is how traditional they kept all the gas station prices throughout all the games. So when you're playing like Resident Evil 2, gas is like 97 cents, and they're like, with these prices, and I was like, oh, you don't even know what's coming, guy. And like Resident Evil 3 goes up to like $1.07. Like Resident Evil, like one of them, there's like a $2.99 gas thing. Like you can see the gas price. This is something that they kept like as a traditional. It's just funny to go back to like, 1997 and see 97-cent gas, and people thinking back then like, this is incredible. Like this is amazing. I'm not paying this.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What's gas now? Like $3.49 or whatever.
Yeah,
insane. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here on the NDT podcast as NDT Gaming. We had a good time talking about some Resident Evil. Guys, if you have any suggestions on games or video game discussions in general that you want us to touch on, and hell, we'll even talk about board games, tabletop games. As you know, Mike is an expert in all of those topics because he sells those as well.
I don't know expert, but I'll do my best.
He's close. He's close. Don't let him fool you. But for now, we're done. We'll see you guys later tomorrow. Hopefully, if you're in Honesdale, make sure you come check us out down in Dragon's Den. And then on Sunday, we welcome Allison Smith from Allison Smith Imagery onto the show, 7 p.m. Eastern time, to have a discussion about her new venture into boudoir photography. Make sure you check it out. We're going to try to break some stereotypes and paint a positive light on this. And maybe some of you guys and girls are going to want to get in on the action and schedule yourselves for a photo shoot. Make sure you tune in Sunday night for that. Until next time, guys, we will see you all later.